the shadows locked inside the mind. MK Ultra memories don't keep us blind. Static on the screen, voices we don't see. Dumper's got us wired, but we're breaking free. They're watching, they're waiting, with eyes in the sky manipulating. They silence the screen, but we know.
No, that's right.
I know, right? Welcome to Smartly Uneducated, everybody. My name is Ben, and I am joined by my lovely co-host.
As always, I'm Evan. My name never changes. It stays the same. You know me. You love me. Some of you think I'm cute. Shout out.
He's got an inflated ego right now because some random troll on it was TikTok.
I think it was TikTok.
Was
Yeah.
like, Evan's cute.
Hey, that's no troll. That was my mom.
If it was, I totally told her you were gay.
That's tight.
Yeah, it's tight, dude. It's tight.
Yeah. I mean, so we have a jam-packed show for y'all tonight. We know we reached out on our live broadcasting dedicated systems around TikTok and YouTube, Instagram, the like, and we briefly told y'all what we're going to be talking about tonight, which is the UAP Congressional Hearing, which, of course, we can't seem to pass that up because holy cow, dude.
There's a lot of stuff. They listed off a bunch of different things.
Tight. Yeah.
It's tight, dude.
Yeah, they talked about a lot of different programs that have been off the ears from some people. I've heard of a few of them before, but a lot of them were ones I've never heard of and things that they've never really talked about in the open airwaves of live television and live broadcasting before, right?
Yeah, no, they haven't.
And then we're also going to be in the second half after the intermission, or after we take a brief break, we'll be talking about MK Ultra in our modern day society because it is being used repeatedly to manipulate our minds and cast doubt and fear into us, whether we want to admit it or not. You know, there's just a huge underlying factor over the past 30 years or so that it is being used repeatedly, sometimes even later, probably 40, 50 years even. So they canceled it in 1950, but it is still going strong and it is being active. But yeah, I mean, we have a jam-packed show for y'all. A lot of cool things are happening. If you are joining us on the live stream, shout out for skipping that Tyson Paul fight because we are way cooler than those dudes.
Yeah, I'm sure that a lot of people probably are tuning into that a little bit.
There are already talks on X about it breaking the Netflix servers.
Yeah,
which is
it doesn't
cool.
surprise me because right now we got no listeners, and that's okay. So why don't we dig into this?
Yeah, you want to just hop right into it?
why
No
don't we
goofing,
take
no
a-
gaffing.
I mean, we're gonna goof. We always goof.
Have you seen any of the recent memes that are going around with RFK Jr. and Trump?
No.
There was one that they did the Full Metal Jacket scene where he's sitting in the barracks in his like white top and underwear while everyone's still in their gear. And they have the colonel screaming at him, "What is this? What the fuck is this?" You know that scene?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you look happy eating that little brownie.
Shut the fuck up and talk.
And it said, it had a little caption above it that said, RFK Jr. yelling at Trump, finding the hidden Big Mac in his office. I thought it was very funny.
That's great.
But yeah, it's been a hell of a week with all of the congressional hearings going on, all of the opening up about the video footage that we have, not to mention Louis Esposito.
Is that how you say his name?
It slips my brain at this moment after I've looked at it about 1,000 times in this past few days. But
Elizondo.
Thank you.
That's how you say
Thank you. I apologize to him, Elizondo. He will be here in Dallas here this Wednesday.
Yeah, I think
which
we're
is
tentatively
awesome.
trying to go to it.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fairly priced tickets, and we'll go check him out, see if we can get him on a little quick interview or at least a live stream or video from there. And
Yeah, we're gonna be secretly recording the whole time.
secretly, it'll be
No idea.
very blatant. I'll bring my GoPro on a giant wacky inflatable tube man. Look at me. No, but yeah,
Nice.
a lot of cool stuff's happening. I think it's gonna be one of the important episodes that we do. We oftentimes have episodes that are very important that get sort of pushed under the radar because we put out a lot of information. Here over at Smartly Uneducated, we try our best to be on the precipice of knowledge and the cutting edge, right? No.
Cutting edge.
We just
Yeah.
we just really try to bring y'all knowledge and information that we find pertinent, and this is one that's huge right now.
Yeah, and so here in about 60 seconds,
Tight.
we're digging right into the UAP hearing and kind of how it's gonna go. Just so I just because I'm about to present, and we're about to flesh some things out. So we're gonna do kind of a very vague, brief overview of the UAP hearing. That'll take about 5-10 minutes tops.
Yeah.
It'll be probably around 5 minutes, and then we're gonna talk about the testimonies that the people who showed up and did, everyone who testified in there, and then which also, if you're curious as to the testimonies themselves, here in just a moment we're gonna post it into the chat. Actual links to or I can provide the link to you if you'd like, but we're also gonna put it up on screen, so everyone can see it as well. So. Yeah, so that's about to happen. But then we're gonna. I have some declassified documents talking about UFOs back in 1949. Them basically describing chasing these things, and they're basically the way those things performed back then. Even in that document, they perform just like that now.
Okay, well, hopefully.
Yeah, it's insane. Like they were stating in it every single document about these UFOs, UAPs, whatever you want to call them, they all have the same, it's all the same narrative. Like basically there's an object that's doing things that is beyond our understanding and capabilities. And this goes back a long way.
If it's still doing the same exact sort of movement and trajectory based technology, you would think that it would be advancing much like ours in a sort of upward based scenario, but
yeah,
perhaps it's not doing that, and that's something with that we'll have to dig into. Is their technology staying stagnant to where they are no longer advancing? Are they stuck here, sort of concept? I know I keep bouncing between that concept whenever we talk about UFOs and aliens, that that they're stuck here, right? Mm-hmm. They have no way out of here.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't think that they're stagnant. It could just be that they apexed. Never know.
It's just
maybe they're just at the
best.
Maybe they're at the top.
Yeah.
Of their technological advancement. Maybe they're at a level that's, or maybe they are advancing and we just don't know what to look for if they are advancing, because there's so many different variations of UFOs doing some wild stuff.
That's a very valid point.
Who freaking knows? Maybe at the time they couldn't just dimension hop. Maybe they unlock that now. Great perk points.
What is this, Fallout?
Yeah, dude. I'm gonna bargain my way to the end of the game.
Put mine all in the melee. But yeah, you want to start us off with some of the hearing breakdowns. I know you have a very cool segment over here.
Yeah, I got quite a bit. So obviously, the most recent UAP hearing, which is what we're going to talk about, took place November 13th. So that was on Wednesday, of 2024. In case people didn't know. So the U.S. House of Representatives held, obviously, this meeting or a hearing titled "Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena: Exposing the Truth." Dun dun dun. So it wasn't really like a fringe event or anything like that. It was led by, some of the most respected committees in Congress, basically, including, the subcommittee on cybersecurity, information technology, and government innovation, alongside the subcommittee on national security, the border, and foreign affairs. So there was quite a bit of people involved in this, and I don't feel like that really got attention of like who was involved, like what panels and all that stuff.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
But let's talk about. So I'm just gonna address the kind of like the key themes of the entire hearing. So first theme is UAPs are real, but what are they? That's the So there's that one. The next kind of like key theme of the hearing is government secrecy and suppression, because it's blatantly that's what is happening, and they're still trying to suppress while also let the cat out of the bag, kind of thing, because they were kind of forced into a corner. That's the way it looks like to me. It looks like enough people have found out and people are learning about it that they, they're basically these off the book, black book projects that are getting painted into a corner. And so it's like, okay, well, we're not going to give you everything,
Yeah, that's fair. I mean,
but we're going to give you this.
There's a lot
which
of
basically just people jabbering.
There's a lot of videos that have been circulating on social media in the past 3 or 4 months, of just all different types of UAPs. There's, on top of my head, I can name like 4 different types that have been circulating around the internets.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have the orbs, you have the cubes, you have the cigars. You have
there's
ones
so
that
many
are
different variations
constantly
now.
changing. But yeah, so the fact that they're hiding that information is probably pretty bad, especially if they know about them and they know how they work potentially. So
Yeah. So the last element though, the last key theme. So there, like I said, there was 3. The last one is just kind of like the alien question, right? So, I mean, let's be real here. Let's not beat around the bush about it.
do it.
I mean, that's what it's about. Like that was brought up several times. Like, so even though they didn't use, I don't even think they ever used the term alien at all
No.
in the deal. They didn't make an official docket of that, right? But it was straight up the elephant in the room. And, basically a lot of the testimonies and things that were said in there, which we're going to dive into that here, even more in depthly here shortly, was that it was stated that these craft, a chunk of these crafts that we're seeing doing wild stuff are not reverse engineered craft. The stuff that we're seeing in the oceans is not reverse engineered, apparently. That's what one of the main takeaways on it was. And they are not something that was created here, and it wasn't something that wasn't created in other countries, apparently. And that was being stated by all the whistleblowers.
way.
That was being stated by all of them.
I must have missed that. That's
Yeah.
intense.
So why? And the next question, the next thing is like, why does all of this matter, right?
I can name a few.
Because the hearing isn't like all about some people don't care about UFOs. They don't care about the alien concept. But when it comes to this stuff and why it matters is because it's not about strange lights in the sky and stuff like that. It's really about getting to the truth of what is really going on around us in our world, because there are things that people can't comprehend that are happening and they're witnessing, and even people who are high up the totem pole and things, who are part of black book operation type of narratives, but they don't have technology that even comes close to it. And they're supposed to be working with the best of the best. There's been many whistleblowers talking about that here within the past, 10 years, So, yeah, it's pretty wild. So I kind of want to dig into the testimony breakdown before I talk about the programs. Because, you have the 3 different programs, which is the AARO, Immaculate Constellation, and then the Kona Blue program. The Kona Blue program, I really wonder about, and I'll explain why when we get to it.
That's the one I've never heard of before.
That's the one that's like, they claim it was developed, like they put together this program, but it never went to full fruition. At least that's what they're saying, but I don't buy that.
That's what they said about a lot of things.
That's what they say about everything.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I buy that.
Operation Paperclip, that never went to full effect. We never actually went through with doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, no.
take that with a grain of salt. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah, take it all with a grain of salt, but question all of it at all times. Always question everything. So, all right. So I'm going to bring something up on screen because I want you guys to be able to at least see where I got my reference material from. So this is the first person we're going to do is Dr. Tim. I hope I say his name right. Dr. Tim Gallaudet.
Okay, yeah, Gallaudet.
Yeah. So let me pull that up real quick.
He did have some interesting takes. Uh-oh.
Oh, no. Oh, it's on mine. So this is what you're seeing on the screen right now. Let me make sure that I'm on the right one because I think I might not be. Or the right testimony. So, let's see. Is this? No, that's Mike Gold.
Mike Gold's.
Yeah, there I go. So here's Dr. Tim Gallaudet. He is a Rear Admiral, U.S. Navy, retired. So let me, I'm going to keep this up for a little bit. And as you can see, I mean, this is what all of this is, this document here. This is the official written testimony from Dr. Tim Gallaudet, Rear Admiral, U.S. Navy, retired.
Wow.
And this is what was written up as his official testimony, which he said again in Congress. And this was documented and all that fun stuff right before they went into
So this
the
was
public.
prior to the meeting.
Yep.
Okay,
They
gotcha.
gave their official testimony and then they went out.
Gotcha.
And then they
okay.
gave their testimony again within a public court.
I see.
You know,
which is
or a
pretty
public hearing.
which
sorry.
is pretty standard practice for
Yeah.
court hearings, right?
Yeah, so as you can see, this is his full testimony on things, and there's tons of links.
Yeah,
We
there
will
are.
post that here shortly into the chat so everyone can see it. So this is his testimony, and this is what we're going to be talking about. So
That's so cool.
there you go. So with that being said, sorry, I wanted to drop it down so it wasn't just blinding me in the face. So I kind of broke this down. So when I read through these testimonies, especially Dr. Tim Gallaudet's, everyone I kind of attacked the same way. So Dr. Tim Gallaudet, I broke it down into 6 takeaways, the 6 big things. 3 are UAP related, for a UFO, whatever you want to label it as. And the other 3 is, well, what alien kind of related material did he talk about? Like actual foreign entity, foreign body type thing.
I see.
So, okay, so here are the 3 takeaways from his testimony, like at least for me. And this is all UAP related highlights. So the first one is the incident with all the UAPs during the Navy exercises they were doing. So basically during a 2015 naval exercise, UAPs caused near midair collisions and disrupted all the operations that they were doing for these exercises, with critical communications and evidence disappearing without explanation. So basically,
What?
to give detail on that, he states in his testimony that basically whenever it was being reported in live time that there's these objects they didn't even know doing things that were just blowing their mind, like they've never seen anything like that, there was official communication coming through the Navy channel. Now, he clarified that this Navy channel that they were speaking through, this is not just like any rinky-dink, communication channel. Only serious people are on this channel. And basically, they're all like trying to figure out what was going on.
It's a very secure
And then,
channel.
yeah,
right?
so there was, and then of course everything gets recorded.
Oh.
And so they were recording all the stuff, and then there was also emails being sent about it. I think it was, he said emails. And then all of a sudden, literally, he states in his testimony, whenever it was like the next day or the day after, whatever the time frame was, it was a very short amount of time, everything was gone. All recordings, all emails, everything. They got scrubbed. That he testified that.
By who?
Government. Big brother who's bigger than him.
But that's fair. But that's a very broad statement. That was a thing that kept coming up.
Yeah, they were trying to. They investigated. They couldn't find where it went.
But that kept the document's up on my screen. That kept coming up on a lot of the hearings. Right? Was who did you get your evidence from? Who's doing this? What department? What this, that, and the other word? My biggest issue was Schellenberg. This guy.
Yeah,
would
what a
not
waste of fucking space.
He had some really cool, interesting things to talk
Things to
about,
say,
but he refused over
to do the simplest descriptions of anything.
Yes, where did you get this information? I can't tell you that.
Honestly,
so I can't take anything you say for serious then.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we'll get to him in a second. Let's focus on Tim Gallaudet though, so we can
Yes.
finish these main testimonies I did. Oh, sorry, you want to say something?
Yeah. I only bring him up because it was mentioned that his information keeps getting scrubbed. His recordings were scrubbed. Who would do that? Government? That's a huge, vague blanket statement, right?
Well, some department, someone somewhere,
Was
some
it the
entity.
deep state? Was it DOD? Who could it have been, right? So that's my open-ended question for the audience and the listener. Like, who do you think could have done?
Yeah, if you guys have any curiosities on who did it, shoot us a thing in the chat.
Hell yeah.
Whatever, just tell us what you think and let's talk about it. But so anyways, I'm going to move forward. So now the second highlight from his testimony from Dr. Tim Gallaudet was basically culture. I don't know. I kind of label it as like culture of overclassification. So they would overclassify these things and overclassify them, compartmentalize, and then everyone starts getting completely cut off from everything. And I know everyone knows that's intentional.
That's the idea,
It's 100%
right?
intentional. So basically, he criticized the Navy and DoD for sweeping UAP safety concerns under secrecy, risking operational safety because of what was going on in the exercise. That was his. I want to say that was his first experience with UFOs, UAPs, because he was not someone who believed in any of that stuff. He thought it was all hogwash. And then he got to witness it firsthand. He was like, WTF.
And he spent a lot of
You
time
know?
on the water as an admiral too. So he had a lot of time in open air and in the waters to where potentially these underwater crafts that apparently they see all the time and they come out of the water all the time. He probably witnessed a lot of different occasions.
Yeah. Yeah. So the last takeaway for the UAP related is just basically he was doing a lot of advocacy for transparency.
Good.
You know, pretty much making statements of like urging the government to release UAP related information and just basically arguing that withholding data erodes public trust and hinders any form of progress anyone can make. And then that's intentional. I think at this point it's all intentional. Now, alien related highlights. He didn't have a whole lot on that at all. He was one of the witnesses and who gave testimony and stuff, or whistleblowers who gave testimony that didn't really have any of that. He didn't really have anything, mainly because his experiences were all with UAPs.
Yeah,
that was it.
probably firsthand as well for him, So
Yeah,
he didn't have to go off somebody else's.
yeah.
testimony.
So I will say this though. He did say, sorry, I just saw it in my notes. I almost forgot. He did say, so basically like potential for non-human intelligence. So if you hear the abbreviation NHI, it means non-human intelligence. And they word it that way, and it was the NHI term I've heard before, and everything who was I reading on? But basically, it turns out that they labeled it NHI because if they label it non-human intelligence, they can then use tech as a scapegoat.
Absolutely.
And they don't have to say anything about, oh, yeah, well, it's non-human, so we're not lying. It's like, bitch, that's a fucking alien.
Yeah, that's not
like, don't say non-human. Just say, yo, that foreign thing from another
unearthly
planet
being.
or other dimension, wherever they come, or oceans, I don't know. At that point, it's still non-human. So
Yeah.
it's still nonsense, though, that they label it
Was
that
he
way.
the
But
guy?
that's the real reason.
Do you know if he was the guy audience left or stage right?
Oh, I can't remember.
Because I know Elizondo was the second from the left on the stage.
Elizondo's the one who's got the tats on him. He's got the
Yeah.
goatee.
The Gold, I know. And then I know Schellenberg was right next to Elizondo. I can't remember if Gold was on the audience right, stage left, or if Gallaudet was the opposite. So I can't remember.
So I do want to finish these two out. So with the alien related type highlights I made, basically the technology of unknown origin, right? Or TUO, 2O. So if you hear anyone say 2O, they're talking about UFO.
Repeat that again.
Something that is completely foreign and we do not know how it exists.
TO. What does that stand for?
TUO.
What does that stand for?
It stands for technology of unknown origin.
Oh.
Yeah. So basically, in his testimony, Dr. Tim Gallaudet, we're still talking about him. He had said that basically, he was really emphasizing on the fact that the UAP technology of these crafts that we're seeing and what he witnessed, he went on full record stating that this is beyond any of our capabilities. He's like, by like a million years, basically. He's like, this is so far advanced. Like, you can't comprehend it when you see them in action in person, type thing. And then, of course, his last thing is that, basically, it's just basically saying that there's like a moral obligation for like public awareness and basically he believes that unelected officials should not have exclusive access to knowledge about NHIs, non-human intelligence, as it impacts humanity's understanding of reality.
Wow.
I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, he's not wrong. Like, he may not have had any, experiences or anything like that he could testify on for actual extraterrestrial life or something that is non-human, but he did, he obviously he's being told things from people in certain places since he got involved in this because of what he witnessed. Now, let's talk about Luis Elizondo. Is it Luis or Louis?
It's Lou.
All right. Lou.
L-U-E.
Oh, it's silent. All right. So, Lou Elizondo. Now, this is a good one. Now, to anyone listening right now, I'm going to pull up the documents again. So I have, like I said before, I have all the official documents of their testimonies, the official written documented testimonies. Anyone can go get them. In fact, I'm going to send them to you in just a second.
Yeah.
Could you post them up in the chat?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah. So let me pull up this document real quick. So this right here is, let me pull up Louise. There he is. So this is the official written testimony, at least a copy of it, of Lou Elizondo's, deal. And then this is verbatim what he was saying. But yeah, we'll post that in the chat here shortly, so that way you guys can take a gander at it. Let me pull that back down. So, Lou Elizondo, I like his stuff a lot.
Me too.
So let's talk about the UAP side. So it was like he was definitely doing an assertion of UAP reality. Basically, is the best way to put it in my head. And basically, he's saying he stood there. It's not even basically. He blatantly stood there under oath and said that, or more like declared that UAPs are real, with advanced technologies monitoring sensitive military sites, and he was talking about nuclear facilities.
Yes, he was.
For nuclear arsenals. And he did a good job on that, like bringing that to light, I thought. What do you think?
I think Lou Elizondo was definitely the largest takeaway next to Gallaudet, because he simply stated facts. He was saying things along the lines of, I've seen it, I've witnessed it, UAPs are real, extraterrestrial life is real. He came with evidence, photos, all sorts of different aspects of it.
Yeah.
Not to mention, he travels the country declaring it and talking about it to anybody and everybody who will listen to him.
Yeah.
The man is like a modern day. Well, who's the fella? Man, my memory's not good today, fellas.
Who are you talking about?
The guy who we always go back to.
Bob Lazar.
Yeah, my man Bobby.
Mr. Lazar.
He's like a modern day Bobby Lazar.
In a way.
He's sort of whistleblowing about the technology.
Bob Lazar's cooler though.
Bob Lazar's way cooler.
He was way cooler.
But he's whistleblowing about the technology that is obviously noticeable, obviously seen. Talking about crash sites, talking about all this sorts of things. Speaking of the Romanian mothership that was located. He's my man. I want to shake this guy's hand. He really is on the front of it all.
Oh yeah. Oh, without a doubt. I really hope we get to go to his thing next week.
Yeah.
So the whole thing about UAPs saying that, over the military sites, which was the nuclear silos. The next is government suppression and retaliation. So basically he went in depth talking about how, it's a culture of intimidation within the government to silence whistleblowers and maintain security. Now, on one hand, I could see why national security kind of thing, right? Like, I can understand that to a degree. But this is at the point, like, unless they know that there's other countries that have their own recovery programs and have been recovering them themselves for some time, and maybe they've made headway and they don't know what headway they've made, I can understand the national security side of things for that. But at the same time, we're not talking about what we're reverse engineering. We're talking about aliens here. Like we're talking about actual ETs or something that's of non-human origin that created these things. That's what we care about.
Yeah.
That's what everyone who's tuning in to care about. No one cares about what some other country's reverse engineering. Yeah, your national security people might.
I do think that's.
but that's not what we're there
I think that's
for.
very important.
It is important.
I think it's very important. I also fear that once Trump is in office and he starts, as he keeps saying, it's going to be kicking out all of these different departments. What if he kicks out the department that has been secretly doing all of this investigation toward UAPs and whatnot?
Dude, I'm sure that they've got things in place to keep themselves cloaked up.
I sure hope so.
Or
Because
move around.
If he goes a little gung-ho and starts getting rid of this, that, and the other, and back to the constitutional republic that America is supposed to be, and he gets rid of the departments that happen to have all of the UAP, NHI, TOUO information, we're kind of fucked. Like,
Yeah, we're kind of fucked.
there goes all the data, all the information. So I hope that there's a way that they can guarantee some sort of disclosure based around that.
Yeah. No, I agree with you 100%. Because there needs to be something.
And I do think it's important that we figure out if it's a national security threat or a global security threat. There's a significant difference.
Yeah.
If it's specifically just a national security threat and it's other countries, think Korea, Japan, China, Iran,
Russia.
If it's any of these sort of larger based societies and they have such advanced technology, then we have to worry about our security because holy shit, we don't have that. How do we get that now? But if it's global, then that would hopefully bring some sort of peace amongst the people to be like, we got to fucking fight this shit.
Yeah, we got to fight it, dude.
Bring out your AR-15s, dude. Let's go.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Let's shoot down the globes.
Someone bring an SKS. We need that 7.62 by 39. Let's keep moving.
Let's move it on.
Moving on. So he basically he
Hey, cheers me, by the way. Huh?
Oh yeah, this live episode is brought to you by
Guinness.
Guinness, yo. Guinness. That's what we're talking about. You didn't even sink it.
I haven't sunk it yet.
Real mature, dude. Okay, so
I don't know if you want to click your light down one time. You're a little bright over there.
you know what? I'm shining bright like a diamond.
Yeah,
you know?
like Rihanna, huh?
Yeah, I just don't go to Diddy parties though.
Hell no.
Womp womp.
You would never see me at them places, dog. No.
You don't like baby oil with something else extra inside?
I don't like celebrities, dude.
So let's move on. So the last kind of UAP focused thing that he even brought up was just policy recommendations. And he like proposed like establishing some form of like centralized UAP kind of oversight type office, you know, a national transparency kind of strategy, and then just legal protection, more fluid and effective legal protection for whistleblowers. Now, the alien side of things, not of human origin, that's number one. So he states in his testimony that these UAP technologies that are not the ones that we've reversed engineered are one beyond anything we're capable of creating or doing. But then he goes on to talk about how the way that these other UAPs are and UFOs are, the way that they're basically manufactured, created, is beyond pretty much everyone that he's sought out and talked to, other people who were a part of off-the-book projects, things like that, and they corroborated what he was seeing and witnessing, and basically was like, these were not made by anyone here. No other country has that. If they did, well, the world would not be what it is right now. Things would be different. But then he goes on to talk about now this is where he concretes it in. Number two of the the kind of highlights for this is they recovered biological material from some of these down crafts, and they are not us or any other living thing on this planet that we know of. And they found, like, we're talking about remains.
Yeah. Bodies.
And they talk about that. So like basically they recovered biological material related to UAP incidents, and everything points to some form, and they just label it as extraterrestrial. We don't know. They might be terrestrial. Maybe
Let
they're
that sink
living
in.
in the oceans.
Say
I
that
don't know.
again, but slower for the audience, people in the back. That is insane.
Biological material recovered from UAP crashes that is not our DNA or anything else on this planet. It's some other. Now their DNA apparently their whatever biological material they're recovering apparently is complex like ours.
Holy cow.
So it's just like,
He's like, yeah, we have
You
we
know?
have their DNA, we have their bodies, we have their blood. We don't really know how it works, but we have it. We've been dissecting it since the 40s.
yeah, no
Like-
crap. What was it? Okay, so and then basically the existence of advanced intelligences. So he said that the advanced capabilities that were observed in UAPs point to blatant, and there was a long description that he did on this stuff, but basically saying that UAPs point to a much higher intelligence that is beyond human comprehension. So that was he was really happy. And if you guys go and read his testimony, which I will have all the links up here shortly. All those things is, dude, it's just wild.
It's awesome. Is what
no,
it is.
no, it's awesome, but it's just wild.
It's mind blowing. It's exciting for me as a human who has always looked to the stars, always wanted to know more, has always been fascinated by space from a young man to an adult still. Seeing stars, seeing galaxies, going out camping, looking to the stars of the galaxy and being like, damn, that's crazy. That's beautiful. And now
Yeah.
this is the second congressional hearing to where they're saying finally, we have a body. We have all of this tech that we have been reverse engineering. They're finally coming out of the woodworks and talking about it in open air and honesty. I just really hope that we don't go in the wrong direction. And they're like, yeah, we have this, but it's still classified and we can't talk about it.
Yeah, I know, right?
We can't show you. We can't prove that photo or that video that was leaked in 1991 of the alien in the dark room with the big green head and the black eyes is real or not. We can't prove it.
Yeah.
I hope, and I am so optimistic on this that they're like, yeah, we have this. We're actually going to release this because the new House of Representatives and all these individuals who going into office, I don't believe, but I hope that they'll potentially give us some actual cool information.
Yeah.
Not only will this advance our civilization very quickly, because they're like, hey, by the way, we do have anti-gravity technology. We are able to have flying cars, quantum computers, quantum everything. Everything will just skyrocket even faster than the technology has been growing in the past 10 years. Dude, it gets me so jazzed and so excited that they were just openly like, so do you think UAPs are real? And all of them are like, yeah, absolutely. I think one of them said, I can't be for certain, but there's something up there and we need to find out what it is because
Yeah.
it is important for American society and American standards to make sure that everything is safe, secure, and understandable.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it just gets me so excited. To be,
It gets me
it
so
does. It gets me so
jazzed.
excited. I also fear that it's not just some sort of propaganda because, well, as we all know, propaganda is now legalized in the U.S. government to give to its citizens.
Yep.
So, although they are giving us all of this information, all of these videos are surfacing on X and TikTok and Instagram and True Social and all these different platforms, I really hope that it's not some sort of look over here while we are doing something over here.
Yeah.
There can be a huge turn of society that our children are able to do something beyond our expectations. They can do something beautiful, expand our society, expand our race and our race, I guess is more, I guess space race, or I guess like our humanity or species is what I'm looking for. They can expand our species into something astronomically amazing.
Yeah.
especially if these aliens are stuck here and they've been helping us. There's been whistleblowers who has said, there was this old woman who I saw a video on recently, and she said that she's spoken with the Greys and that they are a biological AI sort
Yeah,
of.
I just don't buy 99% of those people saying that because I'm so tired of hearing the stupid narrative. By the way,
I saw, yeah.
I just sent you all the links
I'll
to
post
throw
it
in
up.
the
Yeah,
chat.
it just gets me so excited, dude. Like there's so many cool aspects. You have to weed through it all. Everything grain of salt. You know, question everything, believe nothing until you have factual evidence.
Mm-hmm.
So UAP alien sort of thing is always going to be a. Are you sure this is real? They're dangling the carrot in front of you, but then we have all these videos. I mean, I've had these videos on my computer here since we started, just repeating playing, and it's of one of the quote unquote UAPs they're seeing that's like a cube that's morphing into the dodecahedron and other different shapes over and over again while it's glistening and glowing. And people are speculating that that's the anti-gravity mechanism that they have inside of it. Dude, it gets me so jazzed, dude.
Dude, I don't blame you. I'm all jazzed up too.
It was a full moon last night.
They didn't yeah, they didn't even show up.
I know, right?
I was waiting for the aliens to talk to me. So, okay, so let's move to Michael Schellenberger. So this is the guy I was getting frustrated with because he didn't want to give detail on like anything to protect other people. It's like, dude, you could tell us what color the craft was, like, something. So let's go through the top three UAP related highlights. Evan's about to post up the links to their official documented testimonies that are written up. So those will be in the chat here shortly. Starting off, allegation of covert programs. So he references whistleblower claims about the DoD's secretive program, Immaculate Constellation, which consolidates UAP data without any kind of oversight. The next highlight in his testimony was basically about his concerns about all the secrecy the government and all these like off the book projects are doing, or off the book departments of the government that aren't around, at least not to the public view or even internal view to most people in the government. And he basically says that, this systemic withholding of UAP, related type information, incidents, the works from Congress and the public is a huge issue because he kind of was like preaching the same thing the other whistleblowers are saying and the same thing that every other person keeps saying left and right. So, and then he also brings up the whole kind of like role of disinformation. So he discusses the historical and ongoing government campaigns to discredit UAP witnesses and whistleblowers. It's still happening now, even with any kind of whistleblower protection they have going or supposedly have in place. He's basically saying that that don't matter to them type thing, which if they're off the book and they operate it by their own compass at all times, then yeah, I'd be a little concerned about that too. It's like, just because you pass a law doesn't give me power over me.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, I'm going
right?
to still do what I want to do, especially if you can get away with it.
Sounds
which
like the
it seems
Federal
they can't.
Reserve.
It's not even an American entity. Sorry. You're going to get me distracted. I'm going to, but I want to talk now about the top 3 highlights I took away from any kind of alien related stuff with him. So,
What?
crafts and biological retrieval. That is my first one.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so he claims that recovered alien craft and biological materials, which then they end up getting it. I want to say they end up getting them out of him, that basically bodies of alien origin, something that's not us. 2 arms, 2 legs, slightly different anatomy, but they ain't us, and it's not anything else on this planet. He then talks about shapes of UAPs associated with NHI. Now, if anyone's listening right now and you don't know what NHI is, means non-human intelligence. It's a label that they decide to throw on these things so they don't have to say extraterrestrial, alien, or whatever term would apply to whatever these things
Yeah,
are.
because it might not be made out of like a biological material, right? It can be AI and biology mixed together. It could be robotics. It could be
Yeah,
a
but
billion different
that's
things.
not why they labeled it NHI.
I know.
I know, but we're telling them why we labeled it NHI, or why they labeled it NHI, which was to dissuade you and make you not know shit.
You're welcome.
You're
good-
welcome.
it's good
Oh
for
yeah, bringing it full circle,
It's
huh?
a good segue.
Oh, thank you, buddy. What was it? So he basically identifies recurring UAP shapes, so orbs, discs, triangles, all linked to extraterrestrial crafts. Saying that pretty much out of these variations, all have gone down over the years, and they've retrieved from at least those that alien bodies.
Yeah.
Which is wild. Let that sink in. And, you got people finally coming out saying like, no, dude, like that there was a little green dude in there. Like, whatever he looked like, like he was a green dude. He looked kind of sick. Like, I think he was about to puke. His eyes were about to pop out of his head. They're giant and black.
Then Will Smith showed up. Welcome to America. Bang!
Oh God. Chris Rock, run. Run, Chris. You know what? That's what we need. We just got to teach these little aliens to make fun of Jada. Her retarded ass. Oh, crap. I said the retard word.
And YouTube just took us down.
Twice. But no, it's we just need to tell Will Smith or convince him. They need to MK Ultra him to think that those little aliens are talking crap on his wife's, or if she is in his, whatever she is to him.
Who cares?
Whatever it
Who
is.
cares?
But his wife, and be like, brainwash him into thinking that these little aliens are making fun of her bald ass head.
She's really into the B4 movement. That's all it is.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, because he'll slap the shit out of them aliens, dude. He's gonna be like, keep my wife's name out your alien mouth.
Do you know what the B4 movement is?
Nope.
It is a bunch of liberal women shaving their heads to no longer have sex with men, and in solidarity, right?
Dude, I saw the funniest post about that too. I did. It made me laugh. It was actually from like him or hate him, but he popped up in our feed on X, and it showed it was what's his name, Andrew Tate.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And it said it was a woman who just shaved her head, one of these crazy liberals holding a sign saying no sex or something like that. And he reposts the photo of her, like reposts her post and said, good.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm sorry, but if you got 300-pounder waddling down and holding up a sign going no sex, like, who was doing you before? Like, that begs a huge question. That's way more important than UAP stuff, dude. Like,
but
that's wild. That's mysterious. It's out of this world.
For me, it begs the question: if you hate some party or group of organizations so much that you refuse to reproduce and procreate to combat their procreation, that's backwards. Somebody is producing somebody you hate, and the other group that you like isn't producing anybody anymore. Now you're going to be overrun.
Listen, these people who are doing that,
What kind of weird ass decision is that, dude?
these people who are doing it, you don't want them procreating, okay? We need to get that genetics out of the pool.
That's just
You know
besides the
what I
point.
mean?
It's it's backwards. It's like poisoning yourself and being like, oh man, my dog did it.
Not my dog. I like my dog.
Have you seen my dog?
Yeah, you and your dog.
I like my dog, dude.
Oh my god. So, okay. So the last thing he even stated about in the alien highlights is implications for humanity. So basically, he was just He was stating that UAP evidence could revolutionize humanity's understanding of its place in the universe. Well, no shit, Sherlock. I'm pretty sure if some advanced civilization...
Is this Schellenberg?
Well, he's quite the shill.
Is that who this is?
Yeah, it's Schellenberg.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. But no, it's like, well, no shit, Sherlock. Like, yeah. If there's some civilization that's coming from the other side of some galaxy or whatever, wherever they're coming from, that's some insane amount of way that we don't even have the capability of even contemplating that idea of getting there, and they're just popping in and out, going, "Yeah, get out of my way." And then they mess with our silos just to display. Basically, it's like a move of power there to mess with the nuclear silos and power them up, power them down, and be like, "Yeah, flex, son. What are you gonna do?"
It's fine. It's like realizing umami is the best like seasoning you can put in your food, and it's like, oh my god, this just changed cooking forever.
Dude, we gotta get that kung pao chicken.
With the umami, dude.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, dude, it's just that when he was going on about that, I was just like, dude, I'm pretty positive that you don't even have to say that, okay? Like that's kind of given at that point. But people are dumb, so I get saying it. I get saying it. That makes sense.
Not our fans though. If you're listening and watching to us, you're not dumb because you're here with us, getting educated by smartly uneducated.
You're getting educated by uneducated.
And if you made it this
individuals,
far,
congrats.
thank you so very much for listening. We are always going to go live on Fridays, right, Ben? Always. and we will be posting all of the time, every Thursday, like we normally do. If you want to talk to us, leave us a comment, leave us a review. They do truly help. And if you want to email us a message, talk to us, send us any cool stuff, smartlyuneducated@gmail.com. It is a real email.
It is real. We've gotten emails on it, and they've said it's a real email.
That is smartlyuneducated@gmail.com. So, yeah, that's just our quick little ad plug. We'll get back to the show. Thanks.
Yeah. It's not a show, bitch. Anyway, I'm moving on. So, all right, let's talk about Mike Gold's testimony. So, in the chat, if anyone hasn't noticed yet already, Evan had shot over the links to every one of these, every person we've done. This is the last person's testimony that I have of the official documented testimony written. You can go click the link; it will take you to this to the site, and you can read the PDF of it.
Yeah,
because that's what I did. All right, so UAP related highlights. So, one, he addressed the stigma around UAPs. Highlights how that having that stigma on UAPs discussions prevents open scientific inquiry and understanding. And now this is just so anyone who's tuning in, this is obviously condensed highlighted notes, right? So go check out the document for yourself. But I mean, he made sure to harp on that, and then he talked about NASA's role in UAP research, and he advocated that for NASA to combat stigma and lead data-driven UAP research through public engagement, archival reviews, and international collaboration. And then the last one out of the UAP-related kind of highlights of his testimony is the civil and commercial involvement. So he stressed that private and commercial sectors in UAP research alongside defense and intelligence agencies. Basically right now it's all separated to our knowledge and to his knowledge. And he harped on that. Now, when it comes to the alien stuff, pretty much he pushed this whole kind of like encouragement of open scientific kind of like dialogue. And he called for NASA to foster global collaboration and normalize UAP research, potentially uncovering evidence of physical extraterrestrial entities.
Good.
And he goes on more about that in detail. It's a bit to read, so have fun. So there's all that. Did I already go through? Or no, that was the first one. Sorry. So potential alien life. So he had suggested leveraging NASA's global partnerships to consolidate knowledge about apparently recovered biological material / bodies from craft. And apparently NASA's involved in this.
No way.
NASA apparently claims that, been claiming forever that it's like aliens aren't real. We would see it with our little telescopes. Yeah, we knew you were full of shit. Like, there's been many whistleblowers that came out from NASA because NASA is highly compartmentalized too. Just like the government. Like, I don't think people realize how huge NASA really is. Like, as a entity of a body of people. There's quite a bit of people who work there. And then there's departments within NASA that is actually in FOIA documents. This is a document I don't have with me, but you guys should go just go to the .gov website, where the FOIA documents or Black Vault, and there's official, authenticated, classified documents in there that prove that NASA's been up to all kinds of shenanigans for a long time, and then they turn around and tell everyone, like, oh no, it's like, bitch, I'm holding the document right here. That's your signature. Like, it looked at your picture with your wife.
They pulled an
You know?
They pulled an Oprah Winfrey.
I didn't get paid $1 million.
Well, here are the
here's the
receipts.
transaction. Fuck you. I don't know. Why would you have to get paid? Aren't you Oprah Winfrey? Shouldn't you have like billions of dollars now at this point?
Make that money, dude. Make that
dude,
money.
Gotta make that money. Anyways, I'm moving on. So, yeah, moving on, dude. So there's that, and then he talked about linking. Basically he advocated for reviewing NASA's vast archives that have alien connections. He said that there's archives that he was aware of that apparently have alien connections within NASA.
Wait.
But because of people, whistleblowers coming out, and apparently that was informed to him, and he was shown something, and it was proven to be true.
Hot damn.
Yeah, dude. If what is being said in these testimonies is true, everyone needs to really think about everything at this point. Because if, let's just say 60% of what they said is true.
Fuck it. Let's say 20.
Oh, yeah, even 20. That's some wild shit. Like, that, it's beyond wild. It's actually at a point where it's like, y'all need to start rethinking. I think, or at least me, I would be like, I'd be rethinking my place and everything at this point, because it's gonna be like, yeah, nothing really matters at this point. I don't got cool little gadgets. I can't zip around everywhere.
Do I still have to pay bills? I gotta go to work. Dang it.
Well, you just ruined my evening, dude. 'Cause I gotta work. So, okay, so that's all I got for the testimonies. Now,
hello, everybody.
I do have breakdowns of the programs. We should talk about the programs. So I'm going to move through these kind of fast. When I say fast, it's more of I'm not going to take a break during each one. It's just going to go right from beginning to end, just so I can get it all out, because I kind of outdid myself a little bit. I did a lot of research.
I'm
on
proud of
these
you.
things. You're welcome.
But I didn't say thank you.
You're welcome. And there you go, Evan. You want to tell us about that project?
Yeah, the project that I've been working on at home, I've been trying to refinish my garage. I got to repaint the walls.
Then a UFO showed up. Tore your shit up real good.
And that's why I got to fucking redo it.
That's why I got to redo it, dude. All right, so let's start with the one that was the name was thrown out a lot, the most.
Should I get more comfortable?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Bah.
It just went from to Great.
Oh, wah, wah, wah.
So, all right. So the one that was talked about the most was Immaculate Constellation.
Hell yeah, it was.
All right. So let's start with the basics of this. So, Immaculate Constellation is the name of an alleged secret government program, and it's not alleged. It does exist because I have pictures of the documentation, and I'm about to put it up, bro. It's gonna be great. So they claimed that it's a secret government program, and it's not like a typical military operation or classified intel project. This is straight up like it was pushed off the books for a while, and it wasn't like just a typical classified thing. It was like no data, no public data, none of this stuff,
No
blah, blah, blah.
documents.
So this was 100% focused around UAPs, and according to the whistleblowers and investigative journalists and these documents I've got, basically lay it out to where, like, for instance, specifically Michael, like when we were just talking about Michael Schellenberger, he, basically this is a SAP, which is a special access program. So think of SAPs as like the Pentagon's version of like an exclusive club. If you don't know what special access programs are and kind of like what encompasses around them, just thinking about like that. Like that's a VIP group that no one talks. It's like rule 1 of Fight Club, don't talk about Fight Club. Rule 2 of Fight Club, you don't talk about Fight Club. Kind of that narrative.
Yeah.
And only so basically, to play on my analogy, it's an exclusive club, and only the most in the know people get an invite. Basically,
So did you say that this is an SAP?
a SAP.
So
Yes. Special Access Program.
this is actually called a USAP, an unacknowledged special access program.
Well, it's very acknowledged because I have actual documents I'm about to pop up.
Me too. I have the 4 of them, right? There's
Mhm.
4 yellow pages. But yeah, they refer to it as the Immaculate Constellation is a unacknowledged special access program, USAP, established following the public disclosure of a huge lame by Luis Elizondo in 2017. So my man, Luis Elizondo, he created this shit.
Oh, my bad. I just realized I did not plumb in my that document into
That's
the
fine.
deal.
That's fine.
It's fine. Yeah, you can throw it into the chat when you get a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. So this document is a result of multi-year internal investigation into the objects of the unidentified anomalous phenomenon, UAP,
Mhm.
and the TUOs and the NHIs. And this is fronted by like I just said a moment ago, our friend Luis Elizondo. I say our friend because I hope one day we get to meet you, buddy, and get friends.
Mhm.
So the Immaculate Constellation, right? Anything else you want to say about it?
Yeah, so I have quite a bit of it, actually. I have a
Camera.
lot. So I know it's camera. Jeez. All right, so the whole purpose of Immaculate Constellation, the whole point, the long story short on it, is to basically recover down technology of unknown origin. Specifically, UAPs, UFOs, things that do things that are just insane and we have no comprehension of them. That's essentially what it's about. So the question here is that people might be asking is like, why haven't you heard of it? Why haven't I heard of it? Things like that. So it's like you had said, it's a USAP, unacknowledged. Sorry, you had jumped ahead. I had that next to say, but you had steal my thunder.
I'm a little faster.
Thanks, bro. So, did you post another one in the chat?
Yeah, the Immaculate Constellation.
Okay, cool. So Mr. Evan here just dumped that into the chat. So if you want to click and take a gander, go take a gander. So, so people who have allegedly worked in these kind of like corners of the government, say otherwise about it being unacknowledged. It's very much acknowledged.
It's a well known, right?
Yeah, and well known behind these particular closed doors. And according to Schellenberger, multiple insiders claim this program most definitely exists, and it's been running quietly, far from the public oversight for many, many years. They've kind of played hot potato with what program and what project, whatever you want to label it as, or operation is for doing these, recovering UAPs and UFOs and blah, blah, blah. So I think, one of the things that made me kind of pause was why, it made me pause while I was like digging into this. And it's like, let's ask the question. Let's be objective here. It's like, why would the government want to keep something like this hidden? Well, think about it. If they really are studying advanced technology that isn't ours, and then admitting that that to the public would basically raise like huge, massive questions, like where did it come from? Well, who does it belong to? And then like, the whole narrative, like what do they want, right? Well, I don't even think they have answers to all that. I think they have answers probably to half of it, maybe a quarter of it. I don't know. This whole subject gets complicated in a way because it's all speculation for us. Like we're getting scraps, and I don't even want to really call it scraps. We're getting fucking crumbs.
And you can
is what we're
look
getting.
you can look toward Cotton Eye Joe for that. Where did it come from? Where did it go?
Sorry.
Because you never know what's gonna happen next. That's the joke. Thank you.
That's like every episode of Lost, dude.
Where did it come
you
from? Where did it
never
go?
know what's gonna happen next. You know what I do know what's gonna happen? You ever get in the a spaceship and you fly out to Pluto and see them 3-titted aliens.
Here we go
dude.
again with the dang Pluto, dude.
Dude, 3 tits? Nice.
You ever hit a horse with a stick before?
You ever hit a horse with a stick before? It kicks you in the face. Yeah, just sneak up on it and just slap it on the ass.
Beating a dead horse over here, dude.
Oh, we're beating it pretty good, dude. I love beating it.
But
Hey, grow up, dude. Come on, man. That was so inappropriate of you. Come on, man. Come on.
man, there are children watching. I hope not.
Screw them kids. You should be in bed.
But
It's adult hour.
are you going to get into the different types of imagery intelligence that they have for them and how they classify some of these things?
Yes and no. Do you have something you would like to give?
Yeah, there's 9 of them in total.
Yeah, go ahead and spit it out.
So in the section 2 of the actual paper, you have cuboid formation of metallic orbs, fast mover observed transition over sensitive facilities, intelligence vessels positioned in collective or reproduction vehicle, equilateral triangle, UAP, tails, unwritten vessel. Large disk using clouds as concealment. We've talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
Boomerang UAP observed by pilot and sensor suite. Jellyfish UAP crosses U.S.-Mexico border. The jellyfish UAP, they have that classified in these, what is it? It's the freaking constellation stuff. Then they have the supersonic range Fowler interceptor USN fighter. Then they also mentioned the Tic Tac detected by space asset in proximities of vessels. So they have all of these that we know about. All of these major UFOs that we know about, they have them classified in this. And we have specifically talked about the large disk using clouds, right? There was a most recent one that was found in, what do you call it? In Romania that Luis Elizondo did a whole speech over. You know, so
Yeah,
there's that taking effect.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
I was
I'm
listening to you. I was
listening.
multitasking because I saw some little chants going going on over there. So I throw it in there because we love 3 booby aliens. That's my favorite
That's
thing.
so tight, dude.
Dude, it's so freaking tight. You have no idea. 3 titty aliens. You ever tried motorboating before? And then you get in the 3 titties, you don't even know what to do. I get lost in them, just like, do I just sink my face into this side or this side? I don't even know where to go.
How do we get there from
I don't
talking
know,
about?
dude.
I classified the 9 Immaculate
You know what? I
Constellations.
blame the listeners.
Don't blame.
Okay?
You can't. Don't blame
They got
the
me
fans.
thinking about the boobies.
If you blame the fans, they're gonna run away, Ben.
Your mother and father are very disappointed. My mom and dad hate me, so yay, dude, join the club. So, anyways, sorry, so stupid. Okay, so this is what we know about Immaculate Constellation. So, one thing to keep in mind is that on a historical perspective, the U.S. government has engaged in documented UFO and UAP retrieval programs. Now, they didn't call it UAP back then. A long time ago, they called it UFO.
Yes, they did.
And then they called it some other things, but they didn't call it UAP at that time. At least not to my knowledge, from what I've seen. That's a pretty more recent-ish term. But basically, so they've engaged in secretive programs, obviously a million times over in the past. So think about like the Manhattan Project, MK Ultra, blah, 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 like so on and so forth. All these supposed programs that didn't exist, and we find out they fully freaking existed. And so the idea of there being this Immaculate Constellation titled program to do this, it's like, well, yeah, dude, there's a bazillion things documented. Look at Project Blue Book. Like that. But hey, Alan Hynek came out and said that the whole point of it was to discredit and disprove them because they didn't want people to find out. You guys should look into Alan Hynek's books that he wrote, or the book he wrote right before he passed away.
Yeah.
Because he blew the whistle on all of it. He straight up said he believed in aliens. He was like, no, the aliens are real. He's like, I've seen some things, man. I've seen some things and stuff. Wild stuff, dude. You have no idea. I grew up in a time when no one shaved really either.
Can you name any of the 9 imagery classifications that I mentioned earlier.
Blue dyed hair. 300-pound whale holding a sign that says no sex. I agree with that statement.
That is not
Continue.
in the Immaculate Constellation documents.
Well, she's got an immaculate constellation of acne on that back, bro.
What do you think about that? You ever thought about that before? Yeah, you ever thought about that before? This is my new character. Welcome to
you love Rawunda?
welcome to TLC. Characters welcome, baby. Come on, Rue.
I love it.
You ever thought about that before, dude?
No. So, anyways, let's keep going. I gotta get through this. So, let's connect. So, let's connect some dots. So, imagine for a moment that everything these whistleblowers are saying is true. So, what does that really mean for us, right? So, if the government has access to all this advanced technology, and then technology that would revolutionize energy across the board and
travel
in an unfathomable way, or even like defense, like, you know, for or militaristic reasons on our side of things. Why would you keep it that secret? That's my first question. And then, now, don't get me wrong, I have some right off the cuff answers to my own question that would be a somewhat logical answer to some degree. You know, or at least hit on something that probably would line out. But honestly, like, the biggest argument I hear from people is that the implications would be too big and blah, blah, blah. It's like, what? Like, Christians have already made up books about aliens and stuff to comprehend it to fit with their dogma. No one's going to care. Like, any form of religion, almost every form of religion that is of the big name groups, I've already put out books about aliens and stuff and label them as demons and stuff and crap like that, just so it can fit a narrative with their own dogmatic belief. That's it.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to accept the idea that if their God is real, oh, whoa, it created intelligent life that wasn't just us, but we're supposed to be the special ones. We're not supposed to just be some random experiment on some thing floating in space. There's other ones, like, well, no wonder we're always in such crap. You know how I knew exactly what they do in their insane heads. I was married to a psycho one, so I know exactly how that goes. So get in line, motherfucker.
I don't know how we got here.
We got here, dude.
I don't know how we got
We got here because I've been waiting for the Anunnaki to come back already. Because they were my favorites. Because they come back with SpaceX. We party it up, dude. They got 8 titty aliens. That's too many for me.
Shut up! You gotta think about the declassification, about why they want to keep things declassified, right? I mean, even Lockheed and Martin skunk works are so held secret that the SR-72 jet, we don't know anything about it, and they're trying to sell it to us.
I'll buy it.
But it cost them $330 million to make one of these bad boys.
It's selling for about $350.
$380, baby. But
what they don't know,
most individuals don't know anything about the SR-72 because they don't let anything out. It's the same kind of disclosure, same kind of, hey, we don't want to let anybody know about this. They will probably, I'm going to say it, dude. I'm going to say it. They're probably never going to tell us about the technology until something catastrophic happens.
Yeah.
Because if we have it and nobody else does, and we're just sort of simply testing it in our own airspaces, the second somebody else has it, makes ours obsolete.
Yeah.
Same thing with the SR-72 jet in its own right. It's hypersonic. It's the fastest plane that is in existence that has only been made one time for $330 million. But
2 times if you consider my sex life.
If they make the quantum technology
Nothing really
for AI and its integration, it will be completely considered obsolete. So I don't think they're ever going to be like, hey, by the way, we have all this technology for this back engineered stuff, until something catastrophic happens.
Yeah.
God forbid that happens. But I mean, Hey,
Yeah.
here we are, dude.
So before I kind of like wrap up this particular Immaculate Constellation, so what it is, and this is just to walk away from it and we can move on to something else, is that the whole point of it is to recover UFO / UAP, whatever you want to call them, craft, and also do reverse engineering on alien technology. It's stated in the documents too. So if you guys go and look at that, it says alien technology.
Yes, it does.
You don't write alien technology unless you know it's alien technology. They're very detail-oriented people. They're very compartmentalized as well. And in every document read about anything of these things, they never say alien technology.
You ever thought
Ever.
about that? You ever thought about that,
You ever
dude?
thought about that, dude? I think about the 3D aliens. all the
We've
time,
already been
though.
going for an hour and 20 minutes, my man.
I know, dude. I'm gonna jump to the other ones because Kona Blue is very vague.
Yeah.
I couldn't find crap on it, for the most part. So, moving on from that,
Moving
the
on.
one thing I want to say though about Immaculate Constellation before I move on is that there have been many, many whistleblowers about this program, and a handful of them apparently got to be a part of it. And they're under serious protection right now. These are the people who will not show their face. And they're the people behind the closed doors of these Congress meetings. They won't show their face and they won't let their names out. Because they claim that they have recovered numerous non-human biologics, or NHB. Not GHB, NHB. Non-human biologics. And then when pressed on it, to be like, hey, what is non-human biologics? What do you mean by that? It was Lou Elizondo.
My man.
Yeah, my man. He made it very clear. Not human, nothing that we know of, and wildly intelligent. Something that is a foreign to either our Earth or our plane of existence of some type. Whether or not they live in the ocean or they're in another dimension, just dimension hopping for funsies, or coming from another galaxy, who freaking knows? But they are not us. And they're intelligent, and they're not of our anatomy, the works.
I
So
love that.
that is the point of Immaculate Constellation.
He was so poignant and concise. My man just said, here are the facts. Bang, bang, bang. Figure it out.
Dude, I love bang.
Deal with. You're trying to add these goofy ass jokes.
I'm not making goof.
Goof.
Watch. I just... Oh. Oh.
the camera.
Oh, the camera's following you, too. You're getting tracked.
Ooh.
Oh, crap. I forgot. I forgot to turn off your tracking. Don't put your hands up there or it's going to start doing some wild shit.
You're waving around like you just don't care, huh?
Hey. Why can't you play with arm whaling tube, man? Anyway, sorry. So let's talk about...
Yeah, but my man Luis Elizondo was just poignant and to the point, and it was fantastic. Very concise.
Yes. I want to talk about AARO.
Arrow.
So what is AARO?
Camera.
Oh, my bad. So what is AARO?
Not AARP.
Nothing. Okay, never mind.
What's that?
That's the old school sound that they used to play for AARP.
Huh. I didn't know that.
Yeah, from like a long time ago. I don't know. I have a vague memory because I'm an idiot. Anyways, so I'm gonna move on. So AARO stands for All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or RO. Yeah, they're pirates there too. It is a branch of the U.S. Department of Defense, established in July of 2022. Its mission is to investigate and understand UAPs. And it's the phenomena that it doesn't fit neatly into our current understanding, right? So that's why AARO is there. So unlike previous efforts that focus solely on aerial phenomena, AARO's scope is broader and it looks into anomalies across all domains. So air, sea, space, and then of course the ones that can transition between realms. That was stated in AARO, by the way. Transition between realms. They're using finite words. They're saying they say this in public. They literally say between realms.
Yep.
What?
They're hoping that people didn't really watch or listen or pay attention.
Smartly Uneducated's previous episodes where we called this shit out. No? Okay, never mind.
Well, obviously no one's watching those, but mostly the hearing. They're hoping that nobody was actually paying attention, because if more than 1 million people were to have watched that hearing, it would be way bigger news.
Yeah.
Because plain as day, Arrow said they're teleporting. These motherfuckers are teleporting, and we can't figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that.
Yeah. So why? So okay. So this is why ARO was created. So before Arrow, we'll just call it Arrow for conversation's sake. Is that the
Yeah,
coin term
yeah.
they use on it? Okay.
Arrow.
So before Arrow, there were other initiatives like the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force, or the UAPTF.
You ever thought about that?
You ever thought about that? You've thought about that? I thought about it.
A lot.
Obviously,
A lot.
quite a bit. Aliens. Why aren't you talking to me? No. Anyways, I'm gonna move on. So as reports of UAPs basically increased, especially from all these different credible sources that were happening, high-ranking military officials who were, overseeing maybe a command post or a base, things like that. And of course, it was corroborated by numerous witnesses who were there, other military personnel in the same events. There was basically like a growing need for a more comprehensive approach. So Arrow was established to centralize and standardize the collection standardize the collection, analysis, and reporting of all UAP/UFO incidents, just to ensure that data isn't basically siloed or stovepiped, right? With different branches of the military or intelligence community, but instead is basically being analyzed holistically, I guess is the right way to put it. So what does Arrow do? Obviously, data collection. So it gathers all these reports from various sources, including military personnel, pilots, and even, civilians. And then, of course, they do analysis. So, using scientific methods to just analyze the data and identify patterns of the situation, like of these incidents. And then, of course, the reporting. So providing actual updates and things like that to the appropriate sources. So in March of 2024, Arrow released a report stating that they found no verifiable evidence of extraterrestrial activity or technology.
Bullshit.
They also claimed that they have found no indications that any information was illegally or inappropriately withheld from Congress. It's blatantly obvious they are. It's not even blatantly obvious. It's in your face. Everyone knows that they're hiding it. There's literally stuff that keeps getting leaked out that they said was fake that leaked previously, and then they re-release it because they found out it was a lie, and they're like, oh, shit, let's put it back into the internets and let Reddit have their heyday,
The parent office to AAR.
Oh, dude, you did the thing with the camera.
Well, get the camera off me. What are you doing?
Way to go. Well, you were talking. See, this is why we can't have nice things. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Just do your thing. Just do your thing. Say your thing.
The Department of Defense, let me rephrase that. AARO's parent office is the Deputy Secretary of Defense. So they are owned by the U.S. government. Let's keep that in mind.
Yeah.
The director of it is John T. Kozlowski. So if they're saying, hey, these things don't exist, then the Deputy Secretary of Defense is probably the ones pushing that out. The DSOD.
Yeah, and like I said, they're doing disinformation campaigns. It's
I don't know why the
public
camera
knowledge.
did that.
It's because the stupid AI tracking. Keep going.
That's about it. I was just trying to figure out who is in charge or who runs AARO, and it's the Deputy Secretary of Defense.
DOD does.
Yeah, so they.
They're also the number one people who are running disinformation campaigns on UFOs and UAPs.
Correct. So
to discredit people
Yeah.
when they know it's true and they've been found out to be true and getting caught in lies. No, this is, like I said before, at the very beginning of this whole thing, basically they're getting backed into a corner because they can't hide it anymore.
trying to muddle the waters. Dude.
Yeah, they're trying to they're trying to muddle the waters, produce as much misinformation as possible, to keep certain things out of the light. And I think part of it is because there may be, I don't know, I there's no telling why. I have no clue. I have speculation, but
What's your speculation?
I have a million speculations.
Give me
man.
one.
Maybe it's due to the fact that maybe there was an agreement made between world leaders and some form of higher intelligent, some other intelligent life.
Like the
at some point,
MJ-12?
kind of like the MJ-12. Not really Project. I don't know how I feel about Project Serpo yet. I don't buy that whole happy planet bullshit. Everyone's happy with their advanced technologies of medical and peace.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Gay.
Boo-hoo, you can have free health care. Boo-hoo.
It's not free. Nothing in life's free. We already know this. Those aliens come around.
To
what they're
humans.
When you know what their fee is? You got to eat their space vegetables. You don't get to have like steak or anything. You go there to that planet and you get stuck eating basically corn. There's no nutritional value, dude.
We've talked about
And
this.
it doesn't even taste good.
We've talked about
It's not
this.
earth corn. It's foreign corn. No one likes that shit.
We talked about this.
Gross.
You said that you would kill them and eat them.
I would if they didn't have a steak waiting for me.
You would eat an
from
alien?
a freshly butchered cow.
You would eat an alien.
Dude, it's either eat an alien or eat a bunch of vegetables the rest of my life while I'm stuck on some other godforsaken planet that I didn't want to be at. So, yeah. All you little midget aliens running around, you better hide your little Urknox because I'm coming to chop some heads off. Hey, we're having chicken tonight. Anyways.
Back to me.
Meat's back on the menu, boys. Anyways.
But yeah, so AARO isn't going to be the best source of knowledge, unfortunately. The All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office is what AAR stands for. I personally wouldn't go with what they have to say because, well, they're owned. They are a organization owned by the Deputy Secretary of Defense. So if they say, hey, aliens don't really have technology, they're not really here, ooh, maybe we should go the opposite way.
Yep.
Usually when the government says, hey, taxes are good.
Yeah. Taxes are the greatest thing ever made.
We're going to raise your
Hands
taxes again. Woo!
Taxation is theft. Anyways, let's move on and stay on topic here.
Yeah,
Okay.
sounds good to me.
Kona Blue program. I want to talk about that
Sounds like an alcoholic beverage.
every time I see the name Kona Blue, the first thing that goes through my head is Kona Ice. Because my kids at their school have this thing like called Kona Ice. It's basically snow cones.
Yeah,
That's all
I know.
it is. It's
Kona
just
Ice.
snow cones. And so it's like every time I keep seeing the word Kona Blue, when I was watching the hearing and listening to it, and they said Kona Blue, all I heard was Kona. I was like, the fuck are they talking about Kona Ice for?
I can go for a snow cone now. Oh shit! Here we
Dude,
go.
Blueberry Raz.
Wait, you're telling
Blue
me
raspberry.
You're telling me these aliens over here they got snow cones? Dude, you better believe I'm gonna be right there first in line getting my blue raspberry watermelon mixture.
I'm just there for the 3 tits.
Delicious.
I'm just there for the 3 tits.
We know you keep saying it over and over again.
You can have your little child thing.
It's
And
a-
I'm going to go over there where the adults go
It's called a
and
treat.
harass some female aliens.
It's called a treat. Let's get it right. Everyone's
treat.
allowed to a treat. Your treat, let me guess, is gonna be 3-titted aliens. How did I know, huh?
It's going to be 3 to the aliens, but the one on the far left is going to be slightly
Is my
offset from the
mic
rest.
peeking or what, dude?
I don't know if you're peeking, but the one that's to the left of the chesticle needs to be a little bit smaller of an orb, so it just offsets, so it looks really funky. I'm into some weird stuff. Everyone fucks funny to somebody. Now that was Frederick, and Frederick's not allowed on the podcast.
Frederick doesn't belong here. We gotta kick Frederick out.
Fuck you, Freddy.
He's evicted.
he just got evicted, dude. I tell you what.
He's off planet, dude. Get rid of him.
I would say I'm embarrassed, but I don't really care. You know? So
Blue Kona.
Blue Kona. So the Kona Blue program So it was a proposed initiative with the U.S. Department of Homeland Security aimed at investigating UAPs and potentially reverse engineering any recovered technology. So the program was intended to protect the retrieval and exploitation of non-human biologics, ETs, alien bodies.
Yeah.
So the idea of Kona emerged after the termination of the Advanced Aerospace Weapons System Application Program, or also known as AWSAP. AAWSAP. You guys, the government should not be allowed to name shit anymore.
Well,
I mean,
they're trying to make it as long as possible, so you don't want to look it up.
snap. You mean
Snap.
snap?
Snap, dude.
That's a long name, dude.
Snap. Aliens are real.
So there's AWSAP and then the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, or ATIP. I'm sure ATIP's a little bit more commonly heard. I've heard that term more often than AWSAP. Both managed by the Defense Intelligence Agency, or also known as the DIA or DIA. Sorry, that's not what they do. It's just DIA. From 2009 to 2012, when these programs were canceled, several individuals involved advocated for DHS to take over the effort under the codename Kona Blue. In 2011, the DHS, under Secretary for Science and Technology, established Kona Blue as a prospective special access program, or also known as PSAP. Dude, that'd be some weird to have some sap with your pee. Some PSAP? I don't trust that.
If that happens, go to the doctor.
Dude, yeah, go to the doctor right away. You got that PSAP, dude. Go see a specialist. Like, now, syphilis is still a very dangerous disease.
It'll kill you.
It'll kill you good, dude. Sorry, I got lost where I was. So, yeah, anyways. So, PSAP, based on claims that relevant information and material existed and required this kind of level of protection. So now 6 months after its supposed establishment, the Deputy Secretary of DHS disapproved Kona Blue as a special access program and directed its immediate termination, citing concerns about the adequacy of justification for the program and the sufficiency of information central to the proposal development. It's important to note, take your notes, kids. It's important to note that no data or material of any kind was ever transferred to or collected by DHS, supposedly under the auspices of Kona. Auspices? I don't know how to say
Auspicious.
that. Okay, I said it right the first time. English is hard. Of Kona Blue. Now, let's do a little public disclosure thing. So, in March of 2024, the Department of Defense released declassified documents related to Kona Blue, providing transparency about the program's history and termination. So these documents pretty much clarified that while some DHS personnel believed that relevant information and material would be delivered to DHS upon establishment of the SAP, nothing was ever transferred at all. They collected stuff, they just didn't tell anyone.
Sounds about right.
And, with Kona Blue, one of the things that I found is that there is AARO did a whole, investigation in the Kona Blue. And they produced shit. No, yeah, they produced all kinds of weird stuff. Like, they did have findings. They just kept it completely quiet. They didn't tell anyone about it. And that's where one of the non-human biologics was apparently recovered, was through Kona Blue. Supposedly.
Well, then let's see it.
Yeah, I know, right?
It all just comes down to, okay, this is real. Prove it. Prove it. Show us already. We all see it on television. We all see it on our phones and on the internet. Now we want the government to say, hey, here we go. Here it is. Prove it.
Here we go, dude. Yeah, no shit. Prove it already. I'm so sick of this whole, hogwash nonsense where it's that was the most frustrating thing about that UAP hearing.
Both of them so far.
All of them have been this way.
Yeah.
It's dude, don't come up there to that stand unless you're willing to give everything. If you walk up there again, fuck you. Get out. I want nothing to do with you. I could care less about this bullshit now at this point. Like, I'm talking about the hearings themselves, because it's just a dog and pony show.
I mean, if you walk up there and you start saying things like, "I can't give away my sites. I can't give away my people. I can't bring evidence," then you're just making the problem worse.
That, and it just means that you're a cuck. No, straight up, I'm just gonna call it for what it is. I mean, if you're gonna go up there and put your face in the limelight, if the people you're worried about, and you're so worried about them knowing who you are, or knowing, you don't want to give out their names, the people that you should be worried about know exactly who you are,
The whole
and
time.
they know exactly who you worked with. So fuck you and your reasoning. Spill the beans. And if you're going up there and not gonna give anything, you should just get dragged out by your ankles and thrown out in the street, because you are full of shit at this point.
Well,
At least Lou drops names. Lou has.
yes, he has many times.
Lou has been quite transparent of supposedly what he knows.
Yep.
I mean, there are certain things that he can't, but that's only because he's held by, and he explains that stuff.
So what's your
little bit more.
overall takeaway from this UAP congressional hearing? What, after everything is said and done, what did you take away from this?
Well, that there are many other programs that, because they stated in it, so on the program aspect of like retrieval programs or whatever, there's obviously several others that are non-existent.
Yeah.
That they don't talk about. And then also outside of the program thing, it just concretes even more how in-depthly compartmentalized everything is. And I think it's 100% done intentionally. And I think that everyone from some in agency department, I think they're all on their own separate phone line, basically. So and they keep it all separated. So when they have their own retrieval program, this department has a retrieval program. I think that they have, obviously at this point, there's numerous retrieval programs. Some we don't know about, some we have heard about. And I think they're all separated between different agencies and separate departments, all like separate. And then all that information starts getting stovepiped into all these tiny little corners. And I think it's done intentionally. And I think that there is obviously an entity, or maybe a group, a web of entities that have obviously something placed where they're getting that information from all of them. But everyone who's within these don't know shit about the others.
That's what it sounds like.
That's
to me
what it
as well.
seems like to me.
Yep, to me as well.
It's all, I think that it's intentional. All that fun stuff. Now the other thing, my other takeaway is that there was things being said, like they blatantly, it's the crafts that apparently are going in and out of the water. Those are the ones that are supposedly not made, reverse engineered by us for the most part.
So that,
especially that one case with the that oil rig. Because you ever seen those giant oil rigs out in the ocean?
Yeah.
Dude, they're massive. They're like the size of like three or four city blocks. It's a miniature city.
correct.
They're insanely huge, and people don't realize how big they are. Unless you've been out to one, or you actually researched into them and actually got to see like what they really looked like in perspective. And there was that case where there was this giant, and apparently they have it in high res. They talked about it in the hearing. I think it was Lou who did. Lou Elizondo. I think he was the one who said it, unless I'm mixing him with somebody else at the hearing. But they talked about it, and they said that, we have high res video showing literally a transmedium vehicle that can fly up in the air with no sign of propulsion or wings. That's massive. It can also go into the water and live in the water down below of unknown depths, because it goes out of the purview of where you can see, and then also where the radar can pick them up in the water. And in this video, whatever, you literally get to see, apparently, according to what he said in Congress, it was bigger than the oil rig. And it was glowing. and it was distinct.
That's fucking daunting.
And it literally was moving at over 500 knots, making movements and turns like that, and at a high rate of speed underwater. And and in the video you can actually see how big this thing is, and it's bigger than the oil rig.
Where's that footage?
That's what I want.
We need to see that stuff.
Yeah, we do.
Have we been going long enough? Can we call it?
Oh my god. Well, I guess MK Ultra is gonna have to wait.
Yeah, we're skipping that one. It's been going for an hour and a half. Almost 2 hours now,
that will be another thing. I didn't realize how I thought this was gonna be like a half episode this, half episode that. I really did, but then once I saw my research right before we started and I had all this stuff up, I was like, we're gonna end up talking about a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, that and then sorry, my last takeaway from it was they said over and over that they've recovered non-human biologics. They've recovered alien fucking bodies.
Yeah, and devices in planes.
Yep.
Like aircrafts and so on and so forth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so.
Yep.
Let's
so
see
yeah,
it.
What was your takeaway? Do you have any?
My takeaway is that they're just lying to us flat out. They refuse to acknowledge the fact that they have actual crafts that have been back engineered. Although these guys who were on the stand were saying we have backward engineered it, but the government refuses to admit it. And they just keep lying to us over and over and over again. Yeah, we have biologics. Yeah, we have their bodies and all this stuff, but they refuse to admit it.
Yep.
So my takeaway is the same as it always has been. Trust your gut. Trust your instinct. The aliens exist. The government hates you.
Yep. Yeah, they pretty much do.
So even though this UAP hearing was very, very cool to hear and very, very entertaining to watch and research, it doesn't change the fact that nothing truly came of it.
Yeah. I think the only pertinent things that really came out of it was the fact that everyone was stating that basically aliens were recovered.
Correct.
Some form of non-human entity was recovered.
But we knew that. We already knew that
crap from all these different declassified things over the years. And we already knew that. But the fact that they were blatantly saying it numerous times over and over, and then they also, the fact that they listed off some more programs, that was nice to know. To at least hear those, and because we were able to deep dive and talk about it earlier and everything, so it's just like, or talk about those. I don't know. It was overall, it was disappointing.
While we were live, somebody released.
We're still live.
Okay, yeah. While we were live, somebody hacked into Area 51 on the dark web and released 81 gigs of information from Area 51. It's for sale. You can look
it.
You can look at 18 documents. You can look at 18 documents for free, but someone's selling it. Someone's gonna buy it.
No, I want it.
Right, someone's gonna buy it.
It's like, dude, this is gonna be like $10 million for this one document. Do you accept a button and some lint?
Do you accept? Do you accept? Fuck you!
Just give me. Here's a gun. There's a holdup.
This is a virtual gun.
It's a virtual gun, dude. It's made out of CGI and graphics.
All right, as we close up the show,
Post-production.
there's a new segment I'm trying to bring to the show. It's predictions for the upcoming week, because this is recorded on Friday and it comes out a week from now. What is your prediction that's going to happen
For aliens?
for anything? This is coming out the 22nd of November.
My prediction is this, and this has to do with the UAP hearing. So I got two predictions. One is for the UAP. The other is for a thing I'll disclose. And once I say this one, the first one. First one is not that.
Tight.
First one is we're not gonna learn any jack shit about aliens or UAPs over the next week.
No.
Boom. We might see some cool random videos on the TikToks or X or the Grams.
Don't you
Starts
do
with an Insta, not a not a poop. Why you pooping at me? Now my second prediction has to do with modern day MK Ultra. They're doing it to us still.
You're trying to put the second half of the show in here anyway.
At least I said it, dude. I said it. Like, look, at the end, I did a prediction. Modern day MK Ultra, you know what they're doing?
It.
They're still doing it on us in more perfected ways that you could possibly imagine.
Yeah, it's blatant and obvious and scary. But yeah.
Like the other day, I was straight. And then I woke up one morning, I was like, I'm okay with being straight. It's all brainwashing, dude.
You know, it's getting late for us over here at Smartly Uneducated. I didn't know where Ben was going to go with that one. I got worried for a second. And those of you who watched last week knows that near the end of the show, Ben begins to lose his mind for a little while. And welcome over here to the lighter side of the show when I'm talking to you now, the audience.
And this has been Smartly Uneducated.
Hey, I didn't get my prediction, you dick.
After dark.
My prediction is the Macy's Day Parade will have the lowest ratings of all time. Nobody will be watching that shit.
Ooh, can I give another prediction since it's unrelated to the other stuff?
Yeah, sure.
Majority of people hate The View, but they're still going to be on air next week.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. That's a pretty standard. That's pretty good.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to be right, too.
Yeah, you're going to be right on that one.
Am I? It's a prediction.
Most people hate it.
Dude, if I'm right, you know what that means?
Into the world.
Well, it just means I'm like kind of psychic or
Yeah,
something.
you're like a savant,
Kinda
dude.
like psychic, dude. But no one predicted the aliens are on Pluto, now did they?
Oh, here we go. Back to
Here
Pluto.
we go. Here
You
we
know,
go.
when
Back
you
to
mentioned
Pluto.
that, our audience dropped dramatically.
I'm sorry they don't like to go out to Pluto and see them three-titted aliens hanging around the backside of Pluto. It's not my fault. That's their fault. They're just uncultured swine.
They?
I'm just lotting them in, dude. All of them. Because they, as a group of people, not...
Well, if I pull up in my black Honda Civic, you better watch out real quick, dude, because I'm pulling out the Maui fires. And we're going up there real quick to Pluto, baby. And we're going to be looking at them aliens with them tri-titties.
With them tri-titties? We don't do tricycles out here. We do tri-titties.
Anyway, this has been Smartly
Which means
Uneducated.
it's on the backside of Pluto. It's just a bunch of three-titted female aliens. No dudes. No dudes. Because no sickles allowed, dude. You're not seeing them tricycles. You're seeing them tri... Huh?
This has been
Nothing? All right, that's cool.
This has been Smartly Uneducated. Thank you so very much for listening. Again, if you have liked this show at all, make sure you like, subscribe, and do all
Hey,
that
look, we got 2
nonsense.
likes, though.
And make sure that you send this to everybody you have ever met, ever known, ever come to contact with. Force your grandma to watch us. Force your grandpa to watch us. Put a QR code on your dog. Let them loose in the streets and let it wild.
You know what you need to do?
Tell us.
Since you were saying, give
Crazy
it
shit.
up, spread it out there, dude. What you need to do is you need to wait until your mom and dad are in bed for after hours fun time. Wait until they're knocking boots, which means having sex. And then you just bust in there like fucking 3rd grade style with a trolley cart with a TV on it, hooked up to a Wi-Fi, playing our show, showing all the episodes. And then they're going to be so caught off guard, they're going to immediately try to cover themselves with a blanket and then be like, we're exposed. And it's like, now you're watching Smartly Uneducated.
That's right.
And they get to learn about three-titted aliens. And other things of non-consequence to them. Well, actually, consequence to them, because some of the stuff we talked about is some real shit. That's dangerous.
Yeah, it is. A lot of it, actually.
So a lot of it does apply to your mom and dad. So even if they're having sex, roll on in there. Just don't even knock. Don't even knock. Just bust down the door and be like, yo, put that thing out of that thing and put it inside that thing.
I'm hungry.
Just bust in there as if you're about to do an urgency. Hungry.
You know, I thought about a cool ending catchphrase for our show, and I forgot about it. I forgot what it was. I spent all week thinking about it, working on it in my head, writing it down, and now I don't know what it was. So with that, y'all have a good night.
I always like to keep it as thank you all for tuning in and staying educated.
Later. Bye.
Up to,
Have a good night.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. Bye, guys. Bye. The song is about MK Ultra.
Secrets in the shadows, locked inside the mind. MK Ultra memories that keep us blind. Static on the screen, voices we don't see. Stop us, got us waiting for a breaking free. They're watching, they're waiting. Eyes in the sky manipulating. They silence the scream, but we